Okay, yeah. Okay, let's start it. Yeah, Brad. So, as I was saying that, like many people in India, they don't believe in this alternative therapies, whether it's a tapping or anything, right? And it's very difficult to make them understand that, okay, please give your at least 30 minutes of your time and, just experience this. But my question to you is like, considering the current situation where people are, fighting for their life, and uh, it's really hard to make, people at least understand that, okay, this technique can be helpful, it will reduce your stress and all these things, right? So what is your suggestion, what is your recommendation, I mean, like, to make people understand that at least try this once.
And it would be great if we could make people do it because it's so beneficial and it's
Yeah,
so simple.
yeah,
And I know that it looks a little different because of the tapping. It's uh, ancient Eastern medicine, but it's also, we have modern scientific research validating the effectiveness of the tapping as a way of lowering stress. So it's not simply some kind of mystical woo woo thing.
yeah,
It's just a physical use of our body,
right,
just like, you know using the Heimlich maneuver or some way of trying to use our body to feel better, doing exercise, deep breathing. These things are not it's not really alternative medicine. It's just different from what a lot of people are familiar with, but it's just a way of using the body's natural system to calm down our stress response.
right,
And certainly, throughout the pandemic, our stress levels have been higher
right,
because of this ongoing fear.
right.
And
Sorry.
unfortunately, that has negative consequences for our health and well-being. So we're
Yeah,
we're making ourselves sick with worry. So to be able to use this process of tapping on these points to calm down that stress response allows us to actually boost our immune system,
mm-hmm.
make better choices, and be healthier overall.
Yeah, yeah, right, right, right. Yeah, but it's like a little bit unfortunate that, like, uh, people have, like, they're so far, I mean, like, away from all these things that, they don't acknowledge even these things, right? Because last year when, the first wave came, and I did so many sessions with people here, the police department, the COVID warriors and all those people, but the effort that I had to put in, to just be available for this kind of thing, it was,
Yes.
I cannot, I mean, so it's a, I can understand it's a difference of culture as well. So yeah, but it's a little bit difficult here.
Well, it's difficult everywhere, depending on who you talk to. There are people
Mm.
in every country who are
Mm-hmm.
going to embrace it and say, "Wow, this is amazing. This helps me so much." And you're going to find people in every country, they're going to say, "I am not going to do that."
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what someone's first experience is, so, and I think it's great what you've done. I've have not managed to get the police department and the fire department to be willing to. In fact, I walked
Okay.
by our local fire department recently, and I almost went up and I saw a fireman, and I almost went up and said, "Hey, you know what? I would like to share something with you guys.
I don't have
I've
time.
made attempts. I've made attempts over the years, and they haven't been open.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's why I do it on YouTube. Is I put it out there. It's like, for anyone who's interested, here it is. And if you're not interested, I can't make you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, just trying to make it as available as possible so that in case somebody has that opening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there, I mean, certainly we have plenty of people here in the US that are not open to doing the tapping, and we'll make it very clear in comments on the internet of how
Mm-hmm.
crazy it is,
Yeah.
because they haven't tried. Or you can go in and do a workshop, and I've done this in other places where I've gone into a company and given a presentation,
Mm-hmm.
and people will find it interesting, but unless they are working on something particular where they feel a real shift,
Right.
they may say, well, that was nice, but it's not part of their daily routine. So unless someone is there reminding them to do it,
Right.
it's very easy for it to be, oh yeah, I did this interesting workshop once and they did this thing, but yeah, I don't
Mm,
do it anymore, because
right.
they haven't had that kind of profound experience.
Right.
So
Or maybe the
I know when
consistency.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
because it takes some consistency, especially what so many issues take a certain amount of consistency to benefit from. And some things can happen quickly, but unless you've had that, so if someone goes to watches a video or goes to a workshop and there isn't something in particular that they're aware of, then they may not stick with it. You
Yeah.
know, when I first learned EFT,
Mm-hmm.
it was a full day training with Gary Craig, the founder of EFT,
Wow.
and he gave everybody Hershey's Kisses, little pieces of chocolate, and had us tap on our chocolate craving.
Okay.
And I went from being at an 8 or a 9 in terms of how much I wanted that chocolate to not being able to eat the chocolate. And I didn't eat chocolate for 2 years after that. So I had a pretty significant experience that first time of, okay, there's something to this. This really created some kind of change.
Right. Right. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Unless they experience it, of course, I agree. I mean, that will make a difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a few more questions, Brad. One of the thing is like, I have seen people here, just two experience that I had with two people, that they're very much anxious when they go for a corona test, right? um, and they wait for a result, right? So that waiting period is really really anxious. I mean, people don't know how to react, and they just ask that, okay, like, I mean, so what can be done during that waiting period? I mean,
I created a video on that during
hmm,
starting last year when the pandemic first really became something, and I
hmm,
did a number of videos around that. So I have a video called Waiting for Results, because a
hmm,
lot of people were going through that anxiety.
right,
So I mean, just in the basic, whenever we feel anxious, even without coming up with the words, just this process of tapping is going to help to
yeah,
lower the anxiety.
yeah,
As long if we're feeling the stress, we can be going through and clearing that and allowing ourselves to feel better. If we want to say words and focus on what's going on, we can allow ourselves to be aware of what the physical sensation is. So, oh, I'm worried about this result, I'm not going to get the result for 2 days maybe, and I'm so scared. And so you could tap on, even though I'm scared about the results, I choose to love and accept myself, all this fear. We can also get in touch with how we're experiencing the anxiety. So it may be, oh, I feel this tightness in my chest, or I feel this
mm,
weird feeling in my stomach.
hmm,
And then we can focus on that. Even though I feel this tightness in my chest, I choose to love and accept myself, and then tap through on the tightness in the chest. So either, whatever words we can identify, or just simply tapping on whatever that the
yeah,
physical symptom is of that anxiety.
hmm,
And sometimes it'll lower like that. There have definitely been times where the anxiety goes away very quickly,
right,
and sometimes it's just bringing it down a little by little.
yeah,
And but any relief we get from that is better than none.
correct, 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 yeah, 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 hmm, yeah. Brad, next question is about, like people who are already in hospital, right? What they can do, I mean, in this situation.
And again, going back to the whatever emotion is going on. So if there's fear, they
Mm-hmm.
to tap on the fear, uh, and you could say this fear of getting worse, this fear of that was for me when at the beginning of the year, both my wife and I had COVID.
Ah.
And so it was not fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
worst
of
worst
course.
2 weeks of my life.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
what's worse about it is the fear of it getting worse. The fear
Yes.
that, okay, even though I feel terrible right now, what if I then have to go to the hospital? What if I stop, if I'm not able to breathe? And so I did a lot of tapping on, even though I'm afraid of it getting worse. And that helped me to be able to calm down that fear so that I could deal with what's going on as opposed to what hasn't happened and what may never happen. And because the fear, our bodies have a powerful ability to heal, and our fear and doubt often slows down our ability to heal. It takes up a lot of energy.
Right,
So to be able to calm our stress down helps us to heal more quickly. It helps us to feel better physically and emotionally.
right.
So I'd recommend on tapping on whatever the fears might be, using those words, or again being aware of what the physical symptom is. Even though I feel short of breath, even though I feel this tightness. And
Right.
there's a story of an English EFT practitioner who was on a cruise
Mm-hmm.
and came down with COVID and
Mm-hmm.
actually had to go into the hospital, and he tapped on his shortness of breath and helped himself recover.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so it can be done, I mean, like anytime, as long as you are conscious, you can do that. Unless,
Right.
yeah. Correct, correct, correct. No, and I think it requires a bit of consistency and practice, because I have experienced that when I, left TFT for a while, it doesn't naturally come, right? You have to at least practice daily so that, it comes naturally to you. Otherwise,
as,
like,
as with any habit, as with
yeah,
any
for
new
that
habit,
matter.
there's,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
Correct.
exercising, eating in a healthy way.
Yeah.
If we have been behaving in a certain way, our so many of our behaviors are unconscious and they're done out of habit. So to try to add something in new and just expect that we're going to do it is challenging.
Yeah, yeah.
So we want to ideally make it a daily habit. I
Right.
recommend tapping as a daily thing because to me it's energy hygiene. We have
Mm-hmm.
physical hygiene like brushing our teeth and taking a shower. Most of us do that on a pretty regular basis, whether we need it or not. We don't usually
Mm-hmm.
wait until the people around us are holding their nose and then say, "That's right, I haven't taken a shower in 3 weeks. Now I need to take a shower." We do
Mm.
it before we need it.
Right.
So that's why I recommend tapping on a daily basis, because you want to be
Yeah.
clearing out the stress before you need it,
Right.
because there's
Right.
always ambient stress. There's always a certain level of stress, especially in the information age.
Mm.
We're walking around with our cell phones all the time that are telling us all kinds of bad stuff and things that
Yeah.
trigger our fear.
Right.
So we're constantly feeling this fear and stress. So we want to be taking a stress shower,
Yeah.
clearing that, washing away that stress at least a little bit every day.
Right. Right. That's so nice, Brad. I mean, I've noted down the energy hygiene. So yeah, yeah. Great, great. In fact, one of the idea that I mean, I thought about is that, because at home, at least we can do surrogate tapping, Brad, right? For people, right?
Yep.
At least those who don't know or don't believe in this kind of stuff, but at least uh, we can do that for them, something like that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Uh,
I mean, everything is energy. So we're all connected in an energetic way.
yeah,
So it makes sense that we can direct clearing energy. Now, someone else can block that if they want. We can't enforce our will on somebody else, but we can send healing energy. And if they're receptive to it, it can make a difference. And even at the least, as we're tapping for someone else, we're helping ourselves we're helping to clear stress out of the collective whole, because even if I'm just clearing my stress, that benefits everybody else.
yeah,
So, you know, the ways in which the surrogate tapping works, it varies. but it's
Mm-hmm.
always beneficial to be clearing our own stuff.
Right.
And I can't worry enough to make anyone else healthier. I can't get sick enough to make anyone else healthier. I can't be afraid enough to make anyone else feel more comfortable.
Right.
So as we clear out our stuff, we create an opening for there to be more good.
Right. Yeah. 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 Nice. Yeah. And Brad, after this this whole chapter, what I see is that there will be a lot of case of emotional, I mean, like this emotional issues, right? Whether you call it a depression or anything, right? Once this gets over, I think there is a lot of there will be a lot of people who need such kind of uh, healing energy, I think. So you see that is going to be a possibility, yeah.
Yeah,
And
the healing, even after the physical healing is done, there's going to be some emotional healing
right,
from something that was such a huge shift
yeah,
globally. I mean, it's something that
yeah,
affected all of us around the world in
right,
a profound way and in a very challenging way, a devastating way for so many people. So that even as things open up again
yeah,
and people feel more comfortable, there are for many people there will be emotional wounds that that a lot of people may not address. They may not even recognize. It's like, okay, yeah, there was a pandemic and now it's over and I'm fine, and not even aware of some of the upset. And so, uh, again, recommending tapping as a way of being able to process that so that we really are free. I mean, that's why we call it emotional freedom techniques.
yeah,
Is it gives us this emotional freedom, and so many of us just aren't aware of where we're not emotionally free. We're not aware of our level of stress. We're not aware of our level of fear, our level of anger, our level of sadness on a day-to-day basis. We just kind of stuff it down and pretend it's not there.
yeah,
But that stuff lingers, and is
mm,
difficult for us.
yeah, right,
So, and one of the great things about EFT is you don't have to believe in it for it to work. It's the interesting thing that people say, I don't believe it. It's like, but that's like saying, well, and I know that there's a lot of people who are anti-vaccine, but
mm,
it's medicine and it has an effect on the body. And you can say, I don't believe it, but it's going to tend to be beneficial with, so many of the medications that we take, so many of the uh, just physical things like stretching. You
yeah,
can, if you do stretching on a regular basis, you're going to get more limber. You don't have to believe it. It's
yeah,
not a question of belief. It's just a question of, this is how the body works.
yeah,
And the same with tapping. This is just how the body works, is that triggering these points helps to calm down the stress response in the body. It's
right,
not a faith-based activity.
yeah, yeah.
You just have to be willing to believe it enough to do the process. Because if
At
you you know
least,
if you insist that it can't work, then you're not going to do it, and it can't benefit you.
yeah,
The same with prayer. If you don't believe that prayer works, then you're not going to try it. But there is scientific evidence showing how
yeah,
the stress is downregulated in chemical studies, in fMRI studies. It's just scientifically validated to be an effective tool.
right, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that it's there, it's there, yeah. And Brad, what is your one master advice that you would like to give me? Yes, yes. I've been
uh,
practicing, to be very frank, Brad, for last 3+ years. Initially, I was
mhm,
also a lot of skeptical. I mean, I didn't believe in that.
mhm,
Yes, and because I wanted to know, like, okay, what exactly what it works inside the mind, right? Why it is. I mean, I wanted to know the science desperately,
mhm.
but then I also practiced on my own issues, and then it helped me, and that's how I started doing this. So, but yes, your any one master advice.
One master advice. Oh, thanks for the easy question. Um, and that's the thing, is that with the research, it's great that we have the research, but for most people, they who do tapping, it's because they feel the difference, and it's like, well, the research doesn't matter much to me.
Hmm.
And there's some people, no matter how much research we have, they're going to be resistant. And so it's, well, it's used the word you kept using, consistency,
Hmm.
doing it on a daily basis,
Hmm. Hmm.
and using it, and being open to exploring what's there. And then one of the keys always is acknowledging that it's a self-love technique, and that the real goal is to love ourselves more,
Hmm.
to see
Hmm.
ourselves more worthy of good things, and
Hmm.
using tapping to clear our doubts about that,
Hmm.
so that because the more we allow ourselves to love ourselves, the more loving we are towards other people.
Hmm.
And then that's just a much greater healing energy for ourselves and others.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right, Brad. Brad, can I make one more request? I mean, if I schedule some session with some organization here, and can I invite you at least for some time, at least for 5-10 minutes, if that is possible, just to give your some expert advice. If I host some session, maybe you can come as a guest and give your tips and tricks, something like that. Uh,
I don't have many tricks. I just tap. I just download the information while I'm tapping.
no,
Um, but yeah,
you are one of the masters, Brad, right? I mean, like, so
not technically. There are EFT masters, because Gary created a program called the EFT Masters, and
yeah.
there's only 29 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, 28, because one of them just passed away.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wasn't accepted into the program.
No,
The
it
first
doesn't
time
matter.
around, when they first started it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was when Gary first announced it at one of his workshops, and I was one of the assistants at that workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And but it was my friend Ann Adams who was running the course,
Mm-hmm.
and she was requiring a certain number of hours of having been a practitioner in order to
Mm-hmm.
be entered into that, and I
Okay.
hadn't been doing it that long yet.
Okay.
And then the next year, I was actually up. I spent a weekend with Gary and a couple of other practitioners, working on something, and he was encouraging me to try to reapply for the next round of masters. And at that
Mm-hmm.
point, I was like, "Yeah, I don't think I want to." um,
Mm.
it was, kind of going down my own path in terms of how I did the tapping.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because like my idea is that when it comes from you, people believe more, right? So that's the it's a psychology, right? I
Lends
mean,
it, it lends some authority. It's like, okay, look, this guy's
yes,
got a huge following on YouTube. He
yeah,
must know something.
he must know something, and in this case, it really is.
Well, and part of it is, I mean, I think that one of the reasons that my YouTube channel has been popular is because I
Hmm.
have that background as an actor. So I'm very comfortable on screen,
Yeah,
and so this is something for you as an actor to make use of, being comfortable and being sometimes theatrical,
yeah,
like
I know.
the
In fact,
it
yesterday only, Brett, I saw one of your YouTube videos. I don't remember the topic right now, but you did it so dramatically. In fact, you also laughed. Then I saw, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
even the first one, the tap of the morning, where I come out and I'm like,
Yeah, I know,
and all
I
that.
know, I know,
It's
I know.
And that was just, playing. That was like in the afternoon sometime. It wasn't, I'm just. I was just playing around in costume, in pajamas, and so yeah. So a number of my videos are
Yeah, no, but it
just
helps.
me as an
It helps.
actor having fun,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so as an actor being able to use
yeah.
use your performing skills to
Right.
make the tapping more accessible.
Correct. 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 No, that's absolutely correct. Yeah. Yeah, Brett. Yeah, Brett. In fact, you had given, I mean, like I had chose only 15 minutes, but so considering that I had prepared such questions, but yeah, I mean, like it's now difficult for me to, like what is next? I mean, I have so many things. But yeah, it's really, really
Well, if you have
opportunity
other
for me.
questions, feel free
Uh,
to ask.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, like you met Joe Vitale, uh, Bob Proctor, and it's amazing. I mean, yeah, yeah. Those people are
I've had the opportunity to meet some amazing people. Jack Canfield brought me up on
Jack
stage
and
to teach
Faye.
EFT at
Wow.
his Breakthrough to Success.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Great.
no, I've been fortunate to meet some amazing people.
Yeah, yeah. And you go to Nick Ortner's tapping summit also, right? Every year.
I've been on every single one of the tapping summits.
Wow, wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Have you
Carol
have
Look
you? Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah,
and
yeah. Carol, look. Yeah.
Carol Look is the first EFT master, and so she and I have been on all 13 tapping world summits.
Oh, okay. Okay. She doesn't have much YouTube videos, I believe. She has only few.
No, not
She's
she
not
hasn't
much
done a
in.
lot with YouTube.
Yeah.
She's does other things. Yeah,
Right, 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 right. Have you met Louis Hay?
I did not meet Louise. No,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
no,
Mm-hmm.
I or Wayne Dyer. So Nick got to meet both of them,
Yeah. I was going
and
to
Wayne Dyer
ask
was a hero
about
of mine.
Vendor. I was going to ask about Vendor.
Um, yeah, no, Nick got to meet both of them, but I did not meet either of them, unfortunately, before they passed.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing. Their work. Amazing. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Lots of good stuff out there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So what do you do, Brad, nowadays? I mean, like you do all these sessions with people, I mean, or some organizations, or how do you
I
spend your
I
day?
haven't done a lot with organizing. In fact, I haven't done a presentation for an organization in
Mm-hmm.
quite a few years. I I do private sessions and I do some group sessions. I have like a big group that I do, and then I have my small mastermind, just with
Mm-hmm.
8 people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And and then I did live workshops
Yeah.
back when you could do those.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, and traveled around the world. Um, so the I miss that, and I look forward to being able to do that again at some point.
Right,
But
right,
now I just do all the presentations right here on Zoom.
right. Yeah, 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 yeah. And thank you, Brad, once again for giving this time. And then also you're doing it for free. So uh, I don't know how
Oh, you didn't
to.
get my
Yeah.
bill? I got to talk to my assistant. Oh, I thought this was already paid for. No, because
Mhm,
I want as many people as possible tapping,
mhm. Right,
and I
right,
want to and so to have the opportunity to share this work and have and for you to help you reach more people in India and around
yeah,
the world, because
yeah,
there's no reason why you couldn't be working with people internationally as well.
right, yeah, yeah.
um, so yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunities to share this.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Brad. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else, how I can thank you. But yes, no, I'm going to ask you that, okay, after at least a couple of months, I'll again, schedule a call with you, just to share my experience again, to get some more of your experience. And, yes, that's how I'm going to get, that, what I can say. that okay, there is someone who is supporting me, or who is encouraging me, I would say the right word is, so. But yes, I need to feel that gas again, before I run out of my so
Even
yes.
though I'm afraid of running out of gas,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are a power generator. You are connected to source. You have all the gas you need whenever you
Yeah,
need it.
yeah,
It's just that sometimes we have resistance. And
yeah.
that's the thing is it's always about clearing the resistance.
Right,
When we're feeling tired, when we're feeling unmotivated, and I definitely get there at times. I tap first thing in the morning to be as open as possible. It's like, okay, I want to have the energy to exercise. I want to have the energy to do what I need to do
right,
so that I
right.
can show up in the world
Mm-hmm.
and do what I am here to do.
Right. So you do tapping every morning. I mean, once you wake up, on the
First thing in the
bed.
morning, it's one of the first things I do is, and it's not because there's an issue that I has. It's not like I wake up, oh, I feel bad. I got a bad feeling. It's I wake up and I may say affirmations. I might say prayers, but it's
Mm-hmm.
so that whatever might be there limiting my performance, limiting my experience of the day,
Mm-hmm.
I want to clear that right from the beginning. I, because I have a morning routine that involves exercising,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't always wake up going, "Yay, I get to exercise."
Yeah, of course. No
There's
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So there's some resistance. So it's like, okay, whatever resistance is there, I want to clear that because there is a part of us that does want to exercise. There's a part of
Mm.
us like,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
if you have
You.
a if you
Yeah.
have a dog and you play fetch with the dog is so excited to run.
Mm.
children children
Mm.
love to run. It's like you tell a child to sit down and be still and they're like, no. So
Mm.
now then as
Yeah.
adults we think all I want to do is sit down and be still. It's like, no, that's programming, that's resistance. There's a
Mm.
part of us that wants to move our bodies and feel how our bodies can operate.
Right.
So I like to tap first thing in the morning, not because there's anything I'm aware of that's bothering me, but because there might be something that might hold me back from things being better. And I want things to be as good as they can be.
Right, right. No, in fact, I have seen this sentence in almost all the tapping sessions, that okay, part of me feels this, but also part of me feels this. So
Yep.
there is always two contradicting things that going
Yeah.
on in our mind, and that
Yep.
we need to clear out. Yeah, correct.
Yep. These conflicting wants. If we
Yeah,
didn't have conflicting wants, we'd have no problems. It's like if we wanted to exercise and that's all we wanted, we didn't have a desire to stay stuck,
right,
there'd be no problem.
right.
And if we wanted to just sit there and be a couch potato
Mm.
and we had no desire to exercise, there's no problem. Because I'm not sitting there. I'm on the couch. I'm watching TV, and I'm perfectly happy. And it's, the only problem is when part of it says, "Yeah, but my body doesn't feel as good as it could, and I want to feel better." So
Yeah.
we only have a problem when there's two conflicting wants,
Mm.
and it's just recognizing what is the resistance, what is holding me back from that feeling, what stops me from wanting to exercise, what
Right.
stops me from wanting to eat a healthier diet, what stops me from whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a tappable issue. And I can start to clear that, and then I have the emotional freedom to take the action that I want to take.
Mm-hmm. Great, great, great. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Brad. Thank you so much. I
My pleasure.
mean, yeah.
So are you still actively pursuing your acting career?
No, 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 no. I'm not so much into that, Brad. It was just a few chances that I got. But I'm like by profession, I'm a software. Like I'm a project manager working in one software company in this city. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but yeah, my background is of a software. So I was a software
Okay.
developer, then I became business analyst, and then now as a project manager. So yeah, acting was part of my hobby, or we can say, like, yeah. But I didn't pursue my career in acting. It was just for fun.
Okay.
to explore different emotions, basically, I would say. Yeah.
It's great training for human beings.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that I think it would benefit most people to take an acting class at some point.
Right, right, right. Yeah. You need to more open up, right? I mean, you need to express your all the feelings that you get, and that you get a chance only in acting. You can't get angry or just do whatever you want to do
Yes,
in your real life.
that freedom to just yell at somebody.
Yeah, you can't do that. So,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, Brett. Thank you. So, what is your next? I mean, like, you're going out somewhere, or uh, today is Monday?
Uh, oh, you mean like today? What am I doing?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
catching up from emails that came in over the weekend, and actually I have to send a message to Bob Proctor, following up from a phone call we had recently,
Wow.
uh, and and editing some videos.
Mm-hmm,
I to do
mm-hmm.
some
You are
editing. That's always fun.
only doing, or you are the only one who is handling all this stuff. I mean, whether it's a YouTube or Instagram, because I had a chat with you on Instagram, and now I don't know whether it was you only or your team.
Oh no, that was on Instagram. I do all the stuff on Instagram.
Okay.
I do have some folks. I have an assistant who does who so like I post daily videos on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So my assistant does that,
Okay.
but my editing, I do pretty simple editing. I don't do any
Mm-hmm.
fancy graphics or anything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I do all of that myself.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. And Brad, do you mind if I'll edit this video and put some useful information over YouTube, or uh,
Absolutely. No,
if you
that's why I
can.
wanted you to record it, was
Yeah.
to use it however you see beneficial.
Thank you. Thank you, Brad. Thank you for that.
My pleasure.
Yeah. All right. All right. Thank you, Brad. Thank you once again.
Thank
Yeah.
you for your willingness to use this to make a difference.
Oh no, thank you so much, Brad. Thank you. Thank you.
My
Bye.
pleasure.
Bye. Bye. Have a good day,
Okay.
Brad.
You have a good night.
Good night.